Fritz.
The Bears are who we thought they were.
The Bears. The Bears.
I am the great Cornholio.
We'll see what happens.
The playoffs?
See, Sean McDonough, Jay Billis. Goats.
Can you play a song? Something cool. Put my mic on!
I'm calling both games.
Oh, baby! Are you serious? Goes down the field for Smith. Oh, he got it!
Seattle. We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
So, Cowboys Bucks. For those of you who are at all interested in football, I know you guys were watching that game. And if you weren't, you missed a great game. And I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys whatsoever. It's not that I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys fans, because the Cowboys, what happens is the Cowboys win one game against anybody, and maybe not against anybody, but they win a game against any team who has a record over 500. And for those of you who know Cowboys fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The next day, all you hear is, "Oh man, are we going to the Super Bowl or what?" And it's like, sit down, please, be quiet. You need to find your place. So I knew that was coming. So if the Cowboys would have beaten the Buccaneers last night, and for those of you who missed it, the Buccaneers won 31-29 by way of a game-winning field goal with like 5 seconds left on the clock or whatever. So 31-29, Tampa Bay wins over Dallas in the season opener. But anyway, so the Cowboys fans, you know how they are. You know how they get. For those of you who know Cowboys fans, and if you are a Cowboys fan, I don't know what to say. But for those of you who know Cowboys fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They win one game and they think they're going to win the Super Bowl. They think they're the best team of all time. And I can see it now. If they would have won that game last night, their egos would have been boosted into 2050. I mean, they would have been telling you how they're going to win this Super Bowl, the one after that, the one after that, the one after that. I mean, it would have never stopped. Oh my God, we beat Tampa Bay, we beat Brady, we beat the defending Super Bowl champs. You would have never heard the end of it. And I'm watching that game, and every time Dallas got close, I was like, oh boy, we're going to hear it tomorrow. We're going to hear it all over Twitter. It's going to be everywhere. Thankfully, the Buccaneers handled their business and put the Cowboys in their place. However, the big story last night was, other than NFL's back, the big story last night was Dak Prescott's back. Dak is back. And, he had that absolutely awful injury absolutely awful injury last year. I mean, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I beg your pardon. I don't think you watch NFL then. But anyway, so you know how the whole thing is. His leg went the wrong way. Tony Romo said it was a cramp. It was not a cramp, not even close. So that was the big story. And Dak, people were wondering, how would Dak do? How would Dak Prescott do coming back from not only the ankle or the ankle, the leg, whatever it was, that injury, but he also had issues with his shoulder in the preseason and in the going in the offseason and all that stuff. So people were wondering, hey, how is Dak going to do? And a lot of people are saying, oh my God, Dak's not going to be that good. Dak's not going to be, Dak is going to crumble. Dak's going to be horrible. Dak Prescott's not going to be able to he's not going to be the same guy he is because of his injury. Well, he proved about everybody wrong last night, and probably made some fans out of him. So, for those of you who missed it, Dak Prescott goes 42 of 48, 403 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Not bad for your first game back after, I think they said it was his first game played in 12 months or 11 months or something like that. So not bad. Not bad by any means for a guy who had an awful leg injury last year, and people were saying, oh my God, I don't know if he's going to come back again. I don't know if he's going to be able to be half as good as he used to be. He proved everybody wrong last night, and see, I wasn't swaying one way or another. People were asking me, oh, what do you think? How do you think Prescott's going to do? How do you think the Cowboys are going to do? And I always hate those questions going into the year. Oh, how do you think so-and-so is going to do? How do you think, the Giants are going to do? Nobody knows. Who knows? It's going on into week 1, first week of the season. Anything could happen. For all I know, Mac Jones could go and have a 1,000-yard passing season or whatever. He or whatever. He could. For all I know, the Cowboys could win the Super Bowl this year. I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying nobody knows what's going to happen. So I always hate those questions. Oh, how do you think Lamar Jackson's going to do? I don't know. Let's just watch and find out. I mean, other than taking what I've seen in the last couple seasons from guys, like Brady or Lamar Jackson or whoever, right? This goes for anybody, Aaron Rodgers too, whatever. Other than taking what I know, what I've seen from these guys in the past, however long they've been in the league, past couple seasons, and saying, okay, well, I think they're gonna, they're gonna come back and they're gonna improve on that. They either got more weapons or less weapons or whatever the situation may be. I think they're gonna do this, right? And people always seem disappointed when they ask me, oh, how do you think the Ravens are going to do? And then I give them that answer, and they're like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? Don't you think the Ravens, do you think they're going to make the Super Bowl? And I'm like, almost any team could make the Super Bowl. It's such so I hate those questions. And if anybody asked me that, and I was kind of giving them a weird answer, that's why, because it's nobody knows, right? I mean, even the experts, even the ESPN bigwigs and the NFL network guys, nobody knows, right? They're going out there and saying the same garbage that I am, for the most part, and I understand that they might be getting some insider information or whatever, but for the most part they don't know anything more than regular ordinary fans. So anyway, so Dak Prescott came out and he looked absolutely amazing. And after last night's game, I as much as I hate to say it, I think the Cowboys are front runners for the NFC East division. And that doesn't say much, right? Because the NFC East division has been really bad the past couple years, but this year the Cowboys are going to be, I think right now after that game, if they can play like that for 17 games, they're the front runner for the NFC East. It's plain and simple. So, but other than Dak, the receivers were good. Amari Cooper goes for 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. And some other guys as well. But if you play fantasy, or you're a Cowboys fan, or you're a knowledgeable NFL fan, you might be asking the same question that I was asking. Where in the world was Ezekiel Elliott last night? Right? I mean, we've heard, feed Zeke this, Zeke that. Where was he? He had 11 rushes for 33 yards and no touchdowns. He put up a whopping 3 fantasy points last night. And I mean, for the first quarter, I was like, okay, why is Zeke on the sideline? Because it just kept showing him over and over again on the sideline. And not only did Zeke not play, and I was saying, whoa, what is going on? Why is he not playing? Also, Zeke looked like he was high or something. They showed him on the sideline, and he had that, spaced out look, he didn't know where he was or something. It was just very weird. He looked like he was a little out of his place or something. So I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why he didn't play as much. I don't know why he didn't play. I don't know why he didn't get more touches. I don't know what was going on there. But Ezekiel Elliott was not. He didn't have the strongest night. So, I don't know. Maybe that's something to look out for, whether or not anything comes up with Ezekiel Elliott. Is he unhappy with the organization? Did he have some kind of injury that nobody knows about? Who knows? I'm hoping that we'll get to hear more about that in the next week or so. On the other side of the ball, the Buccaneers, and I'll get back to the Cowboys in a little bit. The Buccaneers, Tom Brady throws for 379 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah, he threw 2 interceptions, but neither one of them were really his fault that much. The one doinked off of Leonard Fournette's hands, and it wasn't like a bullet pass or anything where Fournette turns around and goes, oh man, whoa, and he can't catch it. I mean, it was right to him, and it just goes right off his hands. and into the hands of the defense. And then the other one was a Hail Mary at the end of the half. So neither one of those interceptions were interceptions where you look back on and say, oh man, Brady's losing it. And speaking of that, right, I mean, Antonio Brown, Gronkowski, they all looked pretty strong as well as Tom Brady did. And for anybody out there who thought Tom Brady was going to come into this season and not be the Tom Brady of old, right? Or the Tom Brady of young, I guess you should say. For anybody that came into this season and said, "Oh man, I think Tom Brady's he's gonna be going down a little bit. He's gonna be, he's not gonna have it," right? Tom Brady proved you wrong as well, and I mean, if for anybody who said Tom Brady is not gonna come back and play a good year, I have some questions for you. Did you not watch the last 21 years that Tom Brady has played? What made you think that this would be the year that Tom Brady would not have a good season? What made you think this year was the year that Tom Brady was going to go down? What? I mean, come on. That was either a joke or you just are not as good at, you're just not as with it as you used to be. And I get that Tom Brady's a 44-year-old or 45-year-old or whatever, right? I get that Tom Brady's getting up there. But man, after last night, Tom Brady might be playing until he's eligible for Social Security at this point. I mean, Tom Brady came out and looked like he did when he was in his prime. And I was over at a friend's place, and we were watching the game, and we were talking about that, saying, man, Brady looks just as good as he did in his prime. And one of them said, what prime? I think the whole thing is his prime. The whole dang career is his prime. That's why he's the best quarterback of all time. The whole 21 years, 22 years, I guess he's going into his 22nd year. The whole 21 years has been his prime, the whole thing. And, for anybody who said, oh, Tom Brady is going to lose it, Tom Brady is not going to be the quarterback that we've seen prior. I mean, and I get that this is one game, and one game may not be one game may be the outlier of the rest of the other 17 games that they play this season. But man, he looked pretty good in this first game, right? And I mean, he threw a couple long passes down the field, and I said, "Oh man, he's still got it." A lot of people, and when Peyton Manning was getting to the end of his career, Peyton Manning was throwing those 5-yard dump down passes every time. Peyton Manning was not throwing those 40-yard bombs. Tom Brady last night, he aired it out a little bit, and for anybody who thought Tom Brady was done. Maybe you're just like, hopefully, you're like, finally, this is the year. I really hope he's done. Nah. Nope. Tom Brady might be playing till he's eligible for Social Security. Like I said, Tom Brady is not by any means done. I think he's gonna have a strong season once again. As much as it pains me to say it, he's gonna be playing till he's 50. I think. I really do, unless he gets some major injury. In these next few years, he might play till he's 50. He might be the Vince Carter of football. So, for those of you who don't want to see Tom Brady play any longer, I'm sorry, but it's going to be a painful few years for you guys out there who don't like Tom Brady and don't want to see him succeed. But anyway, speaking of Tom Brady, what was with that post-game interview? If any of you hung on and watched that, it was a fine interview or whatever. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, I just want to say hi to my parents and my wife, like it was his first game. And I know my kids are asleep, but Daddy loves you. And I was like, that creeps me out. That really creeps me out when he said that. Because I was like, and I understand something like that if this was like a rookie in his first game, like, oh, I just want to thank everybody who's gotten me here and all that stuff. But not from a guy who's played for 21 seasons. He's saying that. It was just really weird and kind of, like I said, it kind of creeps me out, but you can kind of see how he's getting to be, old man Brady, where he's, saying all that stuff about like family and like, oh, I just want to, how people get when they start to get older. They're very, very, I don't know what the word is, but they're very like, I guess family oriented kind of, they family is more important than ever. And it's like, I don't know. It just was weird how he's getting to be that way now. I don't know. It's just kind of weird how that interview ended. And I think it caught everybody else off guard too, because the person interviewing Michelle Tafoya was kind of like, okay, all right, thanks, back to you, Al. It's just like she was like, what in the world was that? Anyway, so I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the end of that game, the Chris Godwin non-call on the offensive pass interference, or the no call on Chris Godwin, right? And I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can reach me on Twitter at Mike's Madness MU. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Do you think that should have been a pass interference on Chris Godwin? I think, I mean, it was, as Chris Collinsworth said, that's a tough call. As a really tough call. But, I mean, he clearly pushed off. And, you know, that's the rule. He pushed off. I think that could have gone either way. You know, I think if they throw the flag, it's not one you're saying, oh, that's ridiculous, right? That's a flag you're saying, okay, I mean, look, he pushed off. All right, that's fair. But they didn't throw the flag, and you know, Cowboys fans are for sure going to be saying, oh man, they cost us the game. Those dang refs cost us the game, right? I bet you've already heard that from Cowboys fans. And if you haven't, I'm surprised. But you know, that was a call that I think could have been called. It could have been called either way. That was one where the Cowboys, you know, but to be fair, you can't say, oh, that cost them the game. The Cowboys had plenty of chances to put themselves in a position to win that game, right? They forced 3 turnovers, and they still lose. You know, they gave Tom Brady too much time. We all saw that look from Tom Brady toward the end of the game, where he's like, "Oh no, you done messed up." You know, he had that look like, "Oh no, we're going out, we're getting this done." And you've seen that look from him before, but and you just knew, oh no, this is, we know how this is going to end. We've seen this movie a few times. So this, you know, the Cowboys gave Brady too much time. You can't blame one call on the game. Greg Zuerlein might be looking for a new job after last night. I think you could definitely divert some of the blame to him for losing that game. You know, he misses the extra point. He absolutely shanks a field goal that was very makeable, and you put those two things together, and all of a sudden, you know, it's, you know, what was the score? 31-29, right? Makes the extra point, 31-30, gets that field goal, it's 33-31, and all of a sudden you force the Buccaneers to go for a touchdown instead of letting Tom Brady eat up time by throwing the ball out of bounds 3 times and then kicking a field goal to win the game. So if you're Cowboys fans, there's no way you can say, oh man, that Chris Godwin no call cost us the game. No, your kicker cost you the game. Your coach or lack thereof, his decisions cost you the game. The zebras, the Foot Locker workers did not cost you the game. Let's just get that right. So yeah, Greg Zuerlein might be looking for a new job after last night, because that was, Greg the leg is no more. It's Greg the shank after that game. So again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that Cowboys Bucks game. Anything that maybe I didn't get to. Again, we